Hello people, hello listeners to Jetzt-TV. Now we're sitting with Mooji. Hello Mooji, I welcome you from my heart.
This is very nice, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lovely welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Thank you for this chance.
Yes.
We have some questions for you, for especially what's the difference between a person who has a deep enlightening, even if we know enlightening that's not a issue really, it's something in the mind, but a person who had some glimpses and a person who has deepened the enlightenment, what's the difference, or what can the person with the glimpses do that she becomes merely
More,
like that?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very many people, they have that experience which you call it over here. Many people speak of it as an enlightenment experience or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you hear this term.
Yeah.
And I think this is what you're speaking there.
Yes.
You're asking.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference with someone who has had an experience
Mm-hmm.
but is not yet completely established
Mm-hmm.
in that experience compared to someone who is established in that experience?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yes.
No, okay.
Mm-hmm,
Thank
exactly.
you. Acha. The one who is established in this experience, you see, feels no more separation. Sorry. They don't feel any separation. They don't feel, oh, I understand this, I know I am this. Even if they speak like that,
Mm-hmm.
there's really, behind this, there's no duality. They realize that what they are and what we refer to as enlightenment, it is the same thing. And it simply means the one who has discovered their true nature. And this one, so when I say it's most natural, it means that there's not somebody doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh yes, I'm really an expert meditator or something like this. It's not like that. It means that you have discovered again what is effortless and what is natural. It means that there's no person doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to maintain something.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not there. And that person was only an idea. When we remove this idea, what has always been here, in this body, in all the bodies, the real intelligence and the real sentience, that is effortless. And it doesn't have to make any effort to be what it is. And we are this. This is what we really are. But somehow we believe we are the identity and somehow the person, which is only a kind of construct. It's not really true. The person is only like a temporary costume that the reality or the beingness is appearing through this costume. But the costume is not sentient, it's not real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So one who has not quite, who is not quite established in this, and this is, you've asked a very good question, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You've surprised me. You've jumped right in the center.
Yeah.
Who is this one who has not realized the truth, who has had a glimpse? Is there someone who has had a glimpse, you see? Now, of course, if you speak like this, most people, they accept, of course, this person had a glimpse of the reality, and it feels, wow, I would like to speak with this person. But all it means is that momentarily, through the acquaintance of, through the practice of maybe self-inquiry, or sometimes just without any practice, occasionally it happens, you know, that somehow the sense of identity is completely removed. And in that space, what is there is pure being and pure truth. And it is effortless, you see, in that moment. But gradually, the mind, the past, it comes back slowly. You see, it comes back. Now, this is also true a little bit for someone who is established also in the self, the one who is free. Sometimes the mind and identity, because of the past conditioning and so on, it also comes in, but it has no root it has no soil for the root of the mind to grow again. So there's no confusion about being a person. Whereas the one who feels I had a glimpse, It simply means that the idea of myself as a person is still alive in this body.
Yes.
It's still a belief, you see. Behind this belief is the reality. And we are all this reality. And there's no one who is a more special reality than another one.
Yeah.
It's just that in some bodies it is recognized, and in some it's not quite recognized, somehow like this.
In this body or mind system, I feel sometimes I recognize it, and there are days I don't. Not. But only I recognize it only if there was a long time not recognizing. Then when I recognize it, then I feel, oh, this was the whole time.
Yeah. When you say, when I recognize it, what do you recognize? What it means?
Very not vastness, the anti, the not the vastness, the
not the vastness.
Yeah.
Not the vastness.
There's some feeling like being stuck in something.
Oh, you're speaking about when you're identified.
Yes.
Okay. And when you're not identified, what happened?
Then it's like in a playground. So, this is here and there's that, and there's no more. There's a bit a distance from that to me. To me.
Yeah, there's a distance from the me, from the feeling of the person. There's a more distance from.
Yes,
this.
it is. Sometimes I wonder that. My mind says, now you should be sad or feel that or be more integrated in the situation. But I'm like, naturally, okay, no, it's this, okay, and sometimes the feelings, they cling on me, and then my mind says, it's just a delusion. And you are not that, but it's not real at this moment. It clings, and it's.
But I want to say something just about this, then we can move on. This feeling that the mind is clinging onto me. This me feeling is also from the past and also from the mind, because actually your being is more just like space. Nothing can cling onto the space. It's like a pure intelligence, but it has no form. And if it has no form, nothing can cling onto it. You see, there's a feeling that something is clinging onto me, because there's still a subtle identity. Even this subtle identity can have beautiful experiences also, of freedom and joy and space. But still there's a subtle identity is there. It's fine, it's there. Even this one, I would say, don't identify even with this feeling. It's just another feeling. It's just another feeling. But because it feels so intimate, the identity as a person, even in its subtlest expression, it's still something intimate. But I would still say what is intimate means there's distance. It's intimate to what? You see? So even that which I refer to as our true self, it is formless. And our formful self, our dynamic expression, how we appear as human beings, this is our temporary expression. It is also an aspect of ourself, but it is the lesser, it's not the greater. Because this is always changing.
Yes.
Even the thoughts are always changing. Everything is changing. But there is something is not changing.
Yes.
And that the witnessing of what is changing occurs in that which is unchanging. And so all the real striving for truth, the Buddha state in you, is a place without striving and without change. But the mind is thinking, but I don't know if I want a state which is not changing. But it's not like that. It is ever perfect, you see. So as long as we keep listening to the mind, we will have doubts or some resistance or some confusion will come.
Yes. It is too real sometimes.
Yes.
It seems. And I know the why questions, they lead to another why and to another why. They are going around in circles.
Yes.
But sometimes they soothe somehow the situation. In this satsang scene, some people might seem to me like they put everything under the carpet, like saying, oh, it's just this energy, it's just this energy. I think there must be a path to distinguish what is now really to do or what is just an energy to do under the carpet.
Yes, you're right, because there has to be a discernment that, you know, this thing is alive for me. It has some credibility because I feel it deeply, and it's not enough to pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And this is a difference that I don't encourage anybody to put things under the carpet, because it will come up later.
Yes.
You see? You can bring it out and say, okay, this is feeling alive for me, and we can look together at what this thing is, rather than deny.
Yeah.
Because that is not reliable experience. To deny, it won't bring you to truth, actually. Because something in our psyche feels that we are not dealing with something.
Yes.
You see? And then you start pretending.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but even that wants to take place in this person, so it's right also.
Yes, very subtle questions you're speaking, very subtle things you're speaking now, you see? You can say it is right for as long as you have a strong feeling of identity, then what you are identifying with will have a relationship with the thoughts you are creating. You see? So it's not that it is the real. Because we feel something strongly, it is not sufficient evidence of its reality. But if you believe something very deeply, you believe it into existence, and then you will have to live with this and have a relationship with
then
this.
It is
you see?
Strong. It's
yes, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't have a strength in itself. It is getting its strength from you.
From me.
Yes, yes, because you believe in it, you identify, you think it is something very important. So this is what you are imbuing in what you are perceiving. And many times we don't realize that you are supplying energy and power to the thoughts that you think are important or not important. And this is, I think, a very significant observation, you know?
Yes. And therefore, the mind always wants to have a recipe or a map where how he can handle or do. But
my observations, my experience, is that first, the mind is not real. I want to speak a little bit. I don't want to just use cliches, you know. I'll explain why I say these things, because some people will think, oh, what are you talking about? The mind is not real. It appears sometimes that the mind wants to find a way to freedom. But it's only an appearance. It's only a play. Because if it is brought to the real opportunity for freedom, then very often it finds another excuse to avoid or to delay this unity. You see? Many times. Is that to say, are we saying that the mind is bad? No, no, no. An aspect of the mind that is functioning with identity creates a lot of trouble. But it is also a quality of mind and an aspect of mind that also aspires for truth. That also wants the truth.
Yeah.
You see?
We the both again.
Yes, yes, yes. There comes a time, I think this is why I would say, all the practices, all the belief systems, all the religions, in the true sense, can be a door, a way of evolving this consciousness, which is strongly at first identified with the body and conditioning, and evolve it somehow towards dropping all this baggage of concepts that it carries, you see? So that is the traditional way, and the natural way for most human beings is to be in the state of evolving, you see? What is the difference with this path, what we call Advaita, or the path, if you want to say path of non-duality, is that it's pointing you not to a direction, but back to who you are. And even if any direction is taken, you yourself will determine whether that direction is good or not. Where are you trying to get to? Sometimes I ask this question to people. where are you trying to get to? What are you trying to capture, you see? And it's surprising that many times they don't even know.
Yes.
You see? So this question, I think, is important. What are you searching? Some people say, I'm searching to find myself. And I said, okay, are you two selves? Like the one who is searching and the one you will find. You know, just to ask. I said, oh, I don't know, but maybe I'm searching for a higher expression of myself. You see? Then I ask, how much distance you think it's away from you? The self you're searching for, if it's not here now, how far away is it from you? And this helps the mind to go again more inside. It's not going to find anything outside.
Yes.
The real discovery has to happen internally.
So the mind gives you, through saying, oh, you are not this, he gives you a journey. And whether you take this journey, you need all satsang teachers and satsang books and something, or you're just confident and already seeing, oh, this is a lie.
Or most people don't see it as a lie initially. Because our conditioning, we are consciousness, but our conditioning into the identity that we're a person, that I'm this body, it started from quite young. And some will also tell you it started from many lifetimes. But we can say, for most people can understand, it started from we're young, no? From young in this body.
Yeah.
The conditioning that you are this body is there. So it feels completely natural thing, you see? And once the consciousness, which is not the body, identifies that it is the body, only then can the mind function in the way that we're talking. Because you take yourself to be a body-mind. And so the mind has more power, more potency to correspond with the identity that you take yourself to be.
So I ask myself sometimes, yes, I got this small glimpse and I really saw, and I always refer to that when I come again in stages like, oh, this is strange now, so I know, wow, this is only that, it is me, and is this all. But even if I had this glimpse, I find myself looking your videos and always reminding me, okay, yes, because I come so much into this daily thinking and
yes.
But at the same time I know it's not. And my question is, what can I do? Or
Yes.
I really have the wish. I love to have a solution or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Yes. There's a deep knowing that all that is appearing for you is impermanent.
Yeah.
It comes and goes.
And it's
Even
it's
your feelings, they come and go.
a big nothing.
It's a big nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. In spite of this knowing, trouble comes somehow.
And me comes.
Destruction.
Yeah.
The sense of me still is there. The feeling that I am a certain person, I have to make a living, I have things to do, I have a future, and all of this. But there must be also a willingness to really look at these deep-rooted ideas about identity. It's not enough that we carry on, that we're just feeling, yes, I am a girl, you're a boy, I'm living in this place, I've got this job, I've got it. It will arise. I cannot say you must do it if it's not your time to do this. Maybe it's a time still to move into life, and life becomes your master. It teaches you, brings you to experiences that will help to break your concepts. But if you find a teacher who is able somehow, who has realized that themselves, they will help you to break those concepts much more quickly. If you're moving on your own, sometimes you know you fall in love with the story, you kind of project and so on.
Yes.
You see, and then you somehow you are nurturing an illusion and remaining in a state of delusion about life. You see, and then now sometimes life bites. There's a bite, you know, and when it bites, it doesn't feel very pleasant, but it helps you to go back more deeply into the place that you
Yes.
that your original place.
I tell you, this glimpse was 7 years ago about, and after this, because I didn't know who to speak with
Yes,
about
yeah.
that, I just took it and I knew something, but I was not the spiritual never person, so okay. But I lived on and on, had my few illusions and goals I wanted to make, and life hit me again and bite me, and now since few months I'm so, in the end I'm so finished with that. I'm so nothing more interests me, like I wanna watch what is this happening now.
Very good.
It's because
So all those experiences were preparing you to come to this point. You see? So they are still valuable because they brought you to now.
Yes.
Now you don't have to go back to them.
No.
In a sense, they brought you to this point.
Yeah.
And now where are you in this moment, you see?
Yes.
You see? And now what happened is these experiences, the pain of these experiences, help to break the distractions. Because something used to go, it wants to believe, it has so many attachments.
Yeah.
And the life has helped somehow to break those attachments. Maybe sometimes through pain, sometimes through disappointment.
Yes,
You know,
it took
but-
everything.
Yes. And you have somehow the wisdom to understand that there's a gratitude inside you for this reason.
Yeah.
Many
Yes.
people complain, I don't have anything, nothing is
Yes,
happening.
yes.
But you're feeling much more free, more
Relaxed.
space. That brought you to this moment.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Now, what remains now?
A big question mark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel inside there's a little bit adventure mood.
You want this adventure?
I don't know what it leads to.
If you want an adventure, your mind will create adventure. Okay? Because you may think, I need this adventure to see what is going to happen next. So we leave one journey, we turn the page and start a new chapter to another journey. I just want to put this. Sometimes I ask, what if there was no next? There was no next, like the next thought, next moment, next experience. Just for a moment, just allow. No? There's nothing is next. Then what is here?
This moment.
Is it a moment of time? Feel it. Don't touch future, don't touch past. Also don't even touch present even, because that's sort of like in time. No next, not past. Don't imagine. What is here, see? Don't give any picture to it.
Don't know.
I don't know. Is this a frustration?
It's not
No.
frustrating.
That which is not going to someplace else. It's not going forward or backward. And it's not trying to stay. It simply is. It requires no effort, not even to be. No effort. It simply is.
Yes.
That.
And this is always so. Yes, and all the noise is the mind telling me.
No, the mind by itself is not the noise. The noise only comes when you connect up with the mind, belief.
When I listen.
Because many thoughts can come, and even one time you will not be afraid of thoughts. They're not your enemy. It's only when you carry an identity, then you can begin to negotiate with the thoughts that come, what we call the mind. Because the mind suggests something. It appears to play this role. The mind doesn't exist. Where does it come from? What is its support? Because a thought cannot think itself. It's not self-employed. So where does the power in a thought come from? It only comes from you.
From looking.
It comes from somehow the belief in the suggestion of the thought. Even I don't want to say that the thought even suggests, you know. It's like everything is coming from us. Somehow.
Yes.
We are aware of the thought process. If you don't engage by identifying with it, no, then thought remains kind of, there's a neutrality about them. And there's more space around the thought also. But if you if you hold on to the sense of an identity that this is me, and so the thought as a specific relationship to the me, then the energy changes. It becomes more intimate and more personal. You see?
More real.
If you want to use this word real, you know, we can use real, meaning that I would understand what you speak if you say it becomes more real. It becomes more tangible. It becomes more intimate. Then we say that this is real because you really feel it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it comes a question, yes, if somehow there's nobody, but there's anybody who wants to have this changed, who wants to not be so surrounded by so many thoughts and clings. And why is it not possible always to stay in that, or
because sometimes you don't want to stay in that. This is the maturity of your own self, in a sense. You know, sometimes you want to be out of it. When it bites you, you want to be out of it. Don't take it. I don't want that anymore. And then you're in your peace, and then something starts to feel bored. Not the peace. The peace is not bored, but the mind comes. You know. You see?
And fear comes.
Nothing is happening, huh? If you stay like this, who's going to pay your rent and so and so? And then something becomes, doubt comes.
Yeah.
And then, so doubt is also a thought. But the consciousness, purchases the doubt, and then it makes what the mind is suggesting in this role become real again for you. And so you're back into the forest of struggle.
Yes.
All that is required is that you, the consciousness, needs to be completely sure of your position. That it's in your presence that all of this is appearing, including the idea of who you are is also playing. And this I call real contemplation. That everything that arises is only an appearance. It only has a certain time to display itself, and then it comes and goes. This includes the idea we have of who we are is also appearing. Even the most intimate concept, the I concept, the I, me, is also appearing, is also arising.
Yes.
In the presence of something which is not arising. When you stay and observe this to see, is this true or not, then you will have a very profound insight as to who you are.
Yes, but it comes the thought who says, oh, this is just appearing. And when this thought appears, who says that, then it feels to me like, okay, now I got it. Or now...
That is also a thought appearing.
Now I got it, it's also, yeah.
That is also a thought appearing. See, yes. But it's more seductive to what is left of you as a person who is thinking there's nothing left of me. You see?
Yeah.
There is something still there, but sometimes we're thinking, no, there's nobody here. But then this thought comes, and somehow it is exposing that there's still somebody there.
Yeah.
You see? So make use of this thought to find out for whom is this thought
who
engaging.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like this. You're still the space behind all of these thoughts. Yes.
And so it is not nothing is necessary to do. So like.
Yeah, nothing is necessary to do, but while you have the sense of a strong feeling of identity, one must investigate themselves. You must contemplate. Am I that which I am perceiving, you see? Because if you don't ask this question, it's a kind of reflex. We go back into the position of being a person who's getting somewhere. So initially, there is a sort of an invitation, a call to just to check it out, to check, is this true? You see? And what sees this? Can I be what I am perceiving? My thoughts, they come and go. My feelings, they come and go. My wishes and attachments, they come and go. You see? The breath is coming and going. My dreams, they're coming and going. My relationship comes in consciousness and goes. Even my identity of who I am is coming and going. What is it that's witnessing all of this thing? This should be your question, and don't take an answer from your mind.
Yeah.
Because sometimes an answer comes and something goes, yes, now I got it.
Yeah.
And that is also mind. You see?
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, through your own inquiry, something is becoming more and more mature as to the subtle tendencies of the mind to create a sense of distraction.
Yes.
And to formulate themselves into an identity. Whereas maybe some while ago, you, the consciousness, you would have purchased that thought, but because it showed itself later that it's not the truth, then gradually, as you kept on in your training to stay back without connecting up with the thought, just staying back, you're coming to see that you're less distracted. And each time a thought comes, it's almost like you will now use this thought to find out if there's anyone who is here as the thinker of that thought. It's very subtle what I'm speaking.
Yes,
here,
because the you who identifies that there's a thought who plays me is also somebody who and somebody who. And
not necessarily. It doesn't go back to infinite.
Okay.
It doesn't. No,
it's not.
No, that's also a thought. What you are to see is that whatever arises. There is the perception of it. There's a seeing of that. Then it says yes, but behind this seer is another seer, and then behind this seer is no. This is the mind's way.
This is
frustrating in a sense. Yeah, the looking.
Because he's working and understanding.
And isn't it amazing that he's working, but he doesn't exist? You look and see if you can find Mr. Mind or Miss Mind. You can find it's apart from thought. Because, there is something called brain that can be identified. But there's nothing called mind that can be identified. Mind is only thought. And these thoughts are appearing in us. Where do they get their power from? Because what we must be clear about is to find out, do thoughts have independent power? Because if they have independent power, then all of us would suffer from the same thought. But some thoughts mean nothing to me, but will send you in hospital.
Yeah,
you see?
Yeah.
So it's not to do with the thought in itself, but the amount of belief that is invested in that thought.
Yes.
And the belief is the power that arises out of your own consciousness.
Yes,
and so you must understand that both belief and attention are your superpowers, because they can create. Because mostly we identify ourselves even with attention. Attention is maybe your most intimate tool, because wherever the attention goes and touches is registering as your experience. You say, yes, I see this, I think this, I want. See? So you give your attention even the quality of yourself as I.
Yes.
And through the inquiry, you see that even attention, which is the earliest power going out, that even that is also witnessable. Even this one you can see. Yes. So if you can see this, then you must be beyond it.
Yeah.
Behind, no?
But when you say you have the power to put your attention anywhere, who does that?
Yes.
That's not me, or because there's nobody behind.
There's no body, but there's
Or
consciousness.
nothing. Or consciousness.
There's
yeah.
consciousness. Consciousness is what you are in this dynamic
But that's
experience
not me.
and body.
That's not me.
When you say consciousness is not you,
Also in the head.
you mean the mental consciousness. Mental consciousness you observe. Consciousness as mind you observe.
But who puts the attention
Yes.
anywhere? This goes from itself.
Yes. The attention is moving by itself. What is witnessing this attention? Isn't there a living force that is witnessing this attention?
Yes.
Where would you put yourself intuitively? Not use your head, intuitively. Can you be the thing that is being witnessed or the one who is witnessing? Which feels more true for you? If you are witnessing yourself, who are you to witness?
Something liquid or air or something like that.
Now you have gone to a very, very subtle phenomena. You say maybe something fluid, liquid, or air. But these are still a phenomenon. Something also must be observing something liquid or air, isn't it? Isn't it? Now this is common sense actually. And I'm showing you the power even of your ordinary speaking. There's a power. There's a consciousness is behind. But we are not aware of the power of this consciousness. That you are the one who is seeing all these things. And the only thing that gets in the way of a clear, intuitive certainty about this is because we are so habituated to thinking of yourself as the name and the form, as the person. And in somehow placing yourself into a particular context and an environment and an image. And I'm saying to you, even these images, they're still a phenomena arising in you. You're the one witnessing them. What can be seeing the image, you see? Can that which sees even the subtlest image, let's say even of space, that can sense even space, there must be something that is aware even of space.
That must be itself.
Yes. And you, who are you in this moment of seeing? Don't identify with anything at all.
I don't know what it is.
You cannot know. Not with the traditional mind.
Not thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot know because if you know something, it phenomenalizes it. That, okay, I know that.
Yeah.
So that cannot be what is aware of it. So this question, what is aware, even of the subtlest appearance, what is aware even of that? Don't create, don't imagine. Because we use the mind, you see, and then your mind is like your Google.
Yeah.
And it will try and represent
Something.
an image. But let it represent the image, because you are the one who will say, but it cannot be the image.
There's no answer. Nothing.
Yes. Now, don't go away from this. Don't make this only an answer. This is not an answer.
No.
Huh? This is an insight, not an answer, you see.
And this is where the deep enlightened people always stay.
Different from you?
No. But
They don't stay. They don't stay. Stay means effort.
yes.
They are. They don't stay. They can't stay. Nobody can stay.
The only difference is that all the thoughts don't carry them away from that so far.
Yes. Who could they be to be carried away? To be carried away, you must have something. I can carry this cushion away. Is it? I can carry this body away somewhere. But am I this body that can be moved about from this place to this place? This is your introspection. You're
from
looking.
the thoughts.
Yes. And this body without thoughts is what? This body without thoughts is what? Look at this body or anything without thought. What is it? Look at me without thought. This is your real seeing, actually. On top of this pure seeing, this almost a non-phenomenal seeing, but phenomenal seeing appears in it, and it is okay. Just the understanding, that deep insight has shown you, you being that, knowing that you are that, meaning the end of the confusion that you are merely your limited perspective, that you're just the body-mind. The body-mind is fine. Let the body function. Let mind function. But can they function without your perceiving of them? Everything is reporting to you. You are the perceiver of all of this. Who are you?
And when I was perceiving from this glimpse,
Yes.
this was also a play in this consciousness, only a picture to show, but it was not that. It was only the
not that.
picture.
Yes. It is maybe the image. The mind forms an image of that. But somehow I trust what you say, because in that moment, perhaps you, as you in the form or in the aspect of your mind and identity, was not there.
No.
And so, in the absence of you personally, something must be there. Something is here, but not as a thing, not as something. The absence of somethingness. You see? And it was shining as a peace and joy and freedom and spontaneity.
Yes. In a picture, was it like the perceiving in the middle without body?
Yes.
And then like around the sun, the planets. First the thoughts, but they were so far, it was such a distance, so that no identifying was possible. And then the body and then the outer things, and then laughter about the joke. There was knowing, it's so jokey.
Don't keep this experience.
No.
If you keep it, you'll want to repeat it, and you're trying to measure other experiences against this.
Only pictures.
Yes. Okay? So if you don't keep anything at all, either from past or a desire for something in future, then what remains? Which is not like this. Not this, because this is not this. You see? If something is going, no, that's not it. That's also an image, a photograph in the consciousness. You're not the image.
And all the other people around me and us, they are things that I project, or the mind projects, or they are made of. This is too complicated.
Just look at everybody as the self. That's all. Don't start to think, oh, did I project these people? Because you get into trouble. You don't need this. You don't need this right now. Just stay with what you're seeing now. Don't force anything. By itself, out of this impeccable seeing, there is a refining that happens in consciousness. Don't push it. Just you stay and let it come. Let everything come. Don't go looking for anything. Even you read something, it says, yeah, you should be one with everything. Forget about it. Just stay with this very genuine seeing. Don't make a checklist of things that, okay, but I didn't get this, I didn't get this. You see, then the mind comes in, you see. Just stay.
Yeah.
It's enough. Then you somehow, there is still a kind of cooking that takes place, a refining, a maturing that happens very naturally, very organically. Don't deny this, because as long as this body is here, enjoy the dance of existence also. Because you're also in this, but it's your temporary play. And this is arising in your infinite and unchanging being. Don't deny this. Many people, oh, this doesn't, and they're saying this because they're not comfortable with themselves. You can be comfortable with yourself. You see? But something will not be able to, you're like a mirror. It can show so many things, but it doesn't keep anything. You see? A mirror can show everything, but it doesn't keep anything. There's something a little bit like this about our being. You can be and enjoy.
Yeah.
Allow everything to be fresh. Don't strategize existence.
Yeah.
You don't need to. And something is really unfolding as a kind of intuitive and spontaneous existence.
Yes.
And this is the beauty of the,
Yes.
of the manifestation, you can say.
There were a few times when I cried so much I didn't know anything why. I really don't know, but
Yes,
it was subtle feeling of I don't want no more everything, but I don't know, I was sad, deep sadness, crying, and I was walking the fields the half day and crying.
Was there not a joy in this crying?
This was joyful. Yes, I don't complain.
Yes,
really
yes.
not.
What happens is that sometimes we are surprised because there's a crying which is inexplicable. And it
so
can
often.
suddenly turn and become laughter also.
Yes.
It can be like this, no? Sometimes there's a crying but there's no sadness. Or there may be a sense of sadness but there's no story. And there may be a laughing but there's
Yes.
no joke. Or there can be laughing and there is a kind of joke.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make sense of any of it.
No,
Yes.
no, it was only to feel that I wanted to. I told life, take me, not make me
Yes.
not my body death or something, not that, but take me, please,
Yes.
life. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is beautiful.
yeah,
This is beautiful. All the human beings would be great to come to this place to say,
Yes.
take me. You see, take me. You know? Don't bargain. Don't go for contract. I'll say, take me. There's something, there's a beautiful a grace.
yeah. I can't transport with words.
It comes
how,
from something deep, you know.
how huge this is. This is, and this is the last few weeks, month.
Yes, yes.
It repeats from itself. I don't force. I know it's nothing to force, but it's so huge. It's so huge.
It's a power, but there's no force. It's a power without
Yeah,
force.
yeah.
And something intuitively. It's an intuitive calling, a primal calling to say yes
And there's
to this.
a pleasure somehow to give something, but I don't know what. I don't know. To give everything
Yes,
from me.
yes. Don't know what,
Don't know what.
and give everything.
Yes. To salute.
Yes,
Yeah. Somehow.
yes. I am very happy hearing you speak about it.
Oh yes. And
Don't let the mind start to write things down what it is.
no.
No, just go with that intuitive, that impulse inside. It's wonderful. You don't have to know what it is, but something is saying yes. You're saying yes. I've been speaking about these things, even in India, the last time, that there comes a time inside when there's an urge to say yes. Just say yes to the truth, without drawing a picture of what it is. Sometimes it arises inside, and some beings, they feel it. I say yes. Don't say wait. Don't say maybe. Don't say later. Don't say no.
No, I just...
Easy? Like this, no?
I'm over this.
Yes.
I'm really...
Yeah. When you're over, you say yes.
Yes.
And when you're trying to get over, you say yes. If you're inside the heart. And then when we speak about it like this, then many people began to realize that unconsciously they've been staying on no or maybe or later. It's like a suspension.
I had these times.
Yes.
Also.
Yes. Yes.
But the last few months,
Yes.
it was like, yes,
Yeah.
pure.
Yeah.
It was, I know these times. Then 3 years ago, I had similar times, and then I thought, oh, but now you try to get this job and do this,
Yes,
and so on. And
Compromise.
Yeah, it's a
Compromise.
half.
Yeah, some fear comes for people. They say, but no, I don't know. Now I'm experiencing, I don't know. Before I had the illusion that I do know.
Yes.
And there's a kind of security in feeling I do know.
Because there came the thoughts, rent and money and
Yes,
So I heard of that.
Yes.
So, but now it's so finished. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. When the human being come to this type of conclusion, a wordless, a conceptionless conclusion, it is yes inside, no?
Mm-hmm.
The whole universe turns its face towards you. Don't worry about anything at all.
Yes.
I'm very happy. This is more than an interview.
Yes.
You know, it's like a communion or something. Something feels beautiful.
Yes. I carried this wish in my heart when I came to you.
Yes, yes, it's wonderful.
Because in YouTube I cannot tell you.
I'm so touched in my being.
Your words run in my heart. I learned so quickly good English.
It's good. Good way of learning English. It's very great. Very great. Very great. Very great. We use the mind for as much as the mind is useful to bring you to beyond the mind, into the pure space of being that doesn't have to work anything out.
Yeah.
It's something. Yeah, miraculous is a good word. Spontaneous. Now people are a bit afraid of these words, but they are truth to do with your being, your living being. You see.
It's like the dream of flying. When I swim in the air. This dream I had so often.
Sometimes I refer to this seeing. It's like you become like space moving in space. You're like space moving in space. You have still the sense of being here, this body's here, but it's become almost transparent, almost translucent, almost invisible. Because it's not heavy with identity. Because you've seen from that place which is imageless. And so no one can explain this thing, you see. I don't think Mr. Buddha could do it. Or Christ. They can't explain because it's no words there to convey what it is. And yet we are this. Is behind all our faces is the faceless one. Behind every face, every expression, this is. This is. And I feel like the great opportunity of the human experience is to recognize this, which puts an end to suffering.
Yes, because people who would see that, they won't be jealous or kill.
Yes.
And
they will not sustain division in themselves. They recognize that, and then division and separation can become also sacred and holy. You see, it can serve a higher purpose. You know, not everything has to look like the same, because the understanding understands that everything arises out of this unfathomable ocean. And something is all well with that. So the differences, they become playful. They are not so consequential. They don't bring enmity, hatred, fear.
Yes, because there's no more who is.
There is no pride. There may still continue to be a sense of identity, but it's more like it's a cosmic identity. It's like a cosmic independence. It's not personal. The personal will always come into some conflict. The personal can be there only as a costume to enjoy the feeling of uniqueness and difference, but not to fall into a delusion with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if anybody tries to play the one who wants to be, and then he discovers he fails, so this he can whether change it nor more do as he doesn't pretend. So he's caught.
He thinks he's caught. If there is no arrogance, if there's no pride, then that pain will bring you to one who can point out that which cannot be caught, will help you.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
chance for him.
It is an opportunity. Because there's something beautiful and magical about life. That even if you're on an island and you have no human teacher and you need to learn this thing, it will come in some way. A mosquito will teach you. A turtle will teach you. You understand?
Yeah.
A seagull may teach you.
Yes.
It's not poetry. It's like if you are meant to come to find out, it will take some form that will be agreeable to you, a form that will resonate with you in order to make that seeing clear for you.
So the for example, the economic crisis would be a great chance for these people who run against the walls.
Yes.
In the next 2-3 years. Or
Yes. Don't tell them that too openly.
No.
We're finding out about this by ourselves slowly, little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you say these things, people want to chop you. Oh, how dare you, arrogant! And so you quietly understand this
I'm
thing
not a missioner.
in your heart.
Yeah.
But it is true. In fact, not almost every experience can be turned around and to serve your truth. Every experience, bitter or sweet, no?
So people say life has no sense in one way and a sense in the other way. The sense to wake up and no sense because it's all a game, it's just for fun because...
No, it depends upon the maturity of your seeing. Because even the great sages who came to see that all of this is a play, it's the play of consciousness. It's not rubbish, it's just a play. It's a play of consciousness. And even upon seeing that they are formless, and we are all essentially formless, appearing in form, that we are the invisible inside the visible. Having understood that, enormous compassion was flowing. You see, and grace and pleasure and patience and love was flowing. They didn't say, it doesn't exist, there's nobody there.
No, this is the other way.
This is the other, this is not it. And this has been the real experience for me. That one feels tremendous love, knowing that all are the self, momentarily perhaps distracted because we are identified with the experience of being the body. And that it is itself consciousness that is playing this role somehow. And if we understood deeply, it will change the temperature of our experience. Because I'm remembering one man in India, he came up and he said to me, I don't understand, my life has been full of so much struggle and fighting, everything's like I'm fighting. And I just feel that God is playing with me. I think God is playing with me. And I said, no, God is not playing with you. God is playing as you. And suddenly somehow his mind was kind of ooh, like this, but something dropped. Because the separation was bringing pain. Then he said, but God is playing as you. and then somehow the pressure was gone, the guilt was gone, the victim was gone. Something made room, made way for a greater space, a greater seeing.
Yes.
And our seeing from the place of our universal perspective makes all things softer.
Yeah.
You see more panoramically. But when you're a person, your view is very narrow and very selfish.
You say,
And,
oh, this is bad now. But you never know why this should be.
Yes.
Because it's you don't see it from here.
Yes.
Yeah, from here.
For a while, we will experience like this. For a while, we will experience being narrow-minded, being selfish, being arrogant.
Yeah.
Because none of these things can stay. Because they are not original to ourselves, no? They are just, for a while we play, something is playing.
Very strenuous.
It is very strenuous and very painful. And sometimes the pain is necessary to bring us back out of that forest of suffering that we cause to ourselves and also to others, who are just forms of the one being. And so I'm not really pointing to, this rule and that rule and this commandment or this thing, and not like this. No, because we have had these in the existence so far. We have tried and make use of it. Sometimes we forgot that, and there's still fundamental power in looking at the wisdom that has come to us through time and through space and so on. But now I feel we are being introduced also, alongside that, to a much more direct way of seeing and experiencing. And I feel a sense of urgency about it, because of the degree and the intensity of the suffering that we see.
Yes.
That is due to really an unawareness of who we are, actually. It's because we are unaware of who we are. We take ourselves to be only flesh and blood. And so this is a very oppressive state, a very aggressive state also. So I feel the more that this knowledge can come back to us, because we are always here, something very pure, under the facade of the person is something very pure. And so satsang is a way of pulling the curtains.
Yes.
But what is seen is not on the other side of the curtains. It's almost like you pull the curtains and you find a mirror. And we begin to find something, a most profound and worthwhile discovery of who we are. And I like to feel that somehow we make available this perspective also.
Yes.
We don't say it's the only perspective. No, I said maybe it's the most direct. You see? But consciousness in all of its expressions.
To meet.
Yeah.
To exchange these this truth.
First, we have to go beyond the dimension of meeting. You have to go beyond the dimension of meeting, to that unity which is inseparable. This is what I'm speaking about. And then in the manifest expression, we will speak about meeting in the world of relative existence. Yes. Which is also, I don't curse this world. This world is also my flavor. It's also myself also.
So we have so many pictures about love. We grow up, love is if you always stay with me, la la la, and so things. And the mind sometimes asks, how to love? Is it just the butterfly feeling here? Or is love something else? What is it?
A green mango and a ripe mango, they're both mangoes, but the ripe one tastes more nice. Is it? Yeah. So, in a way, green love is also love, but it's very limited. It has to mature somehow, and the greatest maturity of this is when one begins to know oneself. Initially, all the beings, they want to associate with something else, another person, another idea, to have money or fame or something, or whatever it is. And in satsang also, the term also means to associate. But now it means to associate in good company that helps to remind you of who you are. And in being reminding of who you are, it's like you come to an unassociated presence. And it's so important, I feel, that a human being, that we discover who we are. Not who I am when I'm with you, or who I am when I'm over there, but just who and what we are as ourselves first. And that's a profound wealth and recognition, because it brings a kind of security, not out of fear, but out of real power and intuition. No? And somehow you bring that not just to your partner, but to everybody. The whole world is your husband, your wife, your partner. I don't know. Maybe it's not the best way of putting it, but
Yes, I understand.
you cannot help just by being. In fact,
and
others are benefiting from your presence, from your words, from your actions, from your silence. All of it is
love.
Is love. And I just came back from Portugal a few days ago. I met a woman there who is I love her so much. This lady, Prem Bodhi, her name. She has a dog.
Yeah.
And one time we were sitting on top of the hill where she's living, and the dog was there. The dog loves her. She loved the dog. The dog. They're sitting together, but the dog is holding its own presence. It was like sitting together, but he was quite inside himself, somehow enjoying also the landscape and so on. And this is a beautiful togetherness.
Yes.
Isn't it? It doesn't come like, some togetherness. I keep looking at you to see if it's okay. Is it okay for me to be? Is it okay for me to have this pleasure? Is it okay for me to not hold your hand? Like this. This is called green manga love.
Yes.
And somehow, when you come to know who you are, there's a fullness of this love, because the love then is like a unicity of being. It's like a oneness of being. But when there's the two-ness of being, then there's attachment and there's expectations, there's dependency, all of these things. And they can somehow, they are the energies that are moving closely with love. But of themselves, they are not by themselves love.
They don't look what is at the moment.
They have come to help us to discover the real love.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, they come to help us to discover, because if you didn't have disappointment, if your projections were not broken, you would not go further, you would not go deeper, you see.
So the ripe mango's love is the unconditional.
Yes. But is the unconditional love beyond the concept of unconditional love? It's not the love that's trying to be unconditional. It's not trying anything.
No.
There's an innocence.
It's just
about our being that cannot help loving. Even if it has to slap you. But there's still love. That slap is love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not aggression.
I know, this is
it's not yes. Oh yes. It's not this. It can be expressed in so many ways. But the underlying love is unmistakable.
Yes.
Love that is your being, synonymous with your own self. This love is rare to see it. The more that people wake up to the truth of what they are, the more this love will show itself and flower its beauty in the world, I would say, like this.
So, would you wish that you could do something to reach more people, or do you say, okay, the one who comes? So because you see the suffering and...
In a sense, both. In a sense, both. Because we are not conducting a campaign.
No.
But at the same time, it's natural, having found what is so beautiful, and it's natural to want to share. But one should not want something too much.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because in a sense, you are nature, and this cosmos is working inside this body. It's not me having an independent desire to make things better, because I know, in a sense, all things are perfect also, even in their apparent imperfectness. There's a perfectness about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some people still have to go through painful lessons. And that painful lesson and that painful journey is also a truth.
Yes, and it's a chance to get, for me it was a chance to get glimpse.
Yes, but I would not want that they miss the mark and you're doing overtime and really wasting a kind of effort, although it is consciousness doing it, but I'm also consciousness. And so out of compassionate consciousness, there is an urge to say, to help or to guide the ones who are open to that help to go beyond suffering. Of course, it's a natural thing. You see, it's the play in a sense.
I understand.
But something inside myself does not get excited about it. It just happens. It happens, no? We're not lying on sofas all day. We're also making YouTubes to share and so on. But the fruits of that activity does not belong to anybody. It's like it's consciousness's work. I am consciousness and I have a taste of the joy of doing that also.
Yes.
I as consciousness in this body, in the feeling, what they call Mooji, is just like one of the names of consciousness. Just like each one is a name of consciousness. You can say like this. And I cannot hide or pretend, oh no, I am the absolute, I mean, I absolutely don't feel. No, I enjoy. I enjoy to meet you. And to sit together, and somehow the consciousness has come together to have a conversation that is delightful. It's delightful for me to speak about these things with someone who is not just asking superficially, but who is coming from that place. And so the flavor is truthful and, for me, authentic. And that taste I surely do love. Yes.
Yes, I discovered the same, that this is fruity talk. This is really... and when so chatting sometimes is funny to me also, but it's no more that I prefer. I prefer like that because it's miraculous.
It's another taste of love.
Yes.
Another one of the taste of love.
It's it's very new and
fresh.
Why does the mind not want the self to awaken? Why is he always saying, haha, you must do this, you must get there? Why?
The self, in its aspect of the beingness or the conscious presence, the feeling I am, because that came out of the unspeakable. The feeling I am arose out of the infinite expanse, the nameless, the unborn. It came, and when it appeared in this body, it has the feeling I am, I exist. And once that I exist feeling come, because I was saying once, I had a feeling that when the unmanifest, the first taste of experience, when it pushed its face into manifestation, perhaps the first reaction was hesitation. Big trouble. It's playfully I say this.
Yes, I understand it.
Because once it began to, or it came in the body, it couldn't initially stay by itself unassociated. It was compelled by a kind of destiny to identify with the body, and everything in the creative world was helping it for a while to establish itself as an identity. I am this body, I am a girl, I'm a boy, I'm Jewish, whatever. Okay? And once it accepted this identity, the play of duality became very broad, very wide. And the consciousness fell in love with experiencing diversity. It absolutely loves it. Not every time, because there are some beings who became tired of experiencing. You see? Yeah. They say, I don't want any more experience.
Yes.
You see? But the majority, we are loving the experience. except when we don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't love it, we want to finish. I don't want any more of it.
Yeah.
And then we don't have any more of that. And oh no, I miss something. And this is the duality of consciousness in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me that all these experiences which we learn through the senses and through the mind, through time and space and all of this relationship, was to create a kind of friction in consciousness. And with this friction, it had to somehow learn to recognize itself again. And this is why in India they call it the Leela, which is the play of God, the play of the divine. Some don't regard it, it's not, some say the dream of God, and some say it is the nightmare of God, you see? Depending upon you. But those who have come to see from the pure place within themselves don't see it anymore like a nightmare. It only comes a nightmare when the identity is predominating. When the identity that I'm a person is the predominant presence and energy, then the world becomes dark, becomes heavy and claustrophobic and full of resistance. When we understand that we are the absolute, manifesting as the presence, as the consciousness, the feeling, I exist, and that I exist feeling of consciousness is not a person. It is like the purest expression or reflection of the absolute in material reality. When we understand even this, then we can somehow enjoy the experience of being. But it's not enjoying, maybe is a misleading word. There's a sort of detachment, and there's tremendous space that comes with detachment. But inside this detachment, it's not cold, because there's beautiful compassion, there's aliveness, there's love, there's spontaneity, there's freshness, there's the joy of relating. But still at the same time knowing that all of this arises out of the unspeakable, out of the timeless, out of the unborn, out of the unchanging, you see? And this knowledge you cannot learn in a university.
No.
You will only learn it in the universe, not university. You see? And that universe you are finding out in yourself. And I don't say to anybody, study, study, study. I say, no, keep quiet, keep quiet, and hold on to your being. Just through holding on to your being, it will release all its juice, the juice of intuition, intuitive knowledge, all of this will come. You see?
Yeah. How quick the thoughts come. I don't know how to do this.
Of course.
La, 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 la.
Of course. And beingness is not something you can know how to do. Or it will be called doingness. Beingness means to be. It means without effort. It means what is. You see? But the mind has these two aspects. One is the being and one is the becoming. And somehow the consciousness, which is identified with personality, is more aligned with the state of becomingness. It's always moving to the next thing. And whether the next thing is advancing spiritually or materially or in terms of skill or in terms of fame or money or whatever, is very much attached to that movement. The beingness side is what happens when somehow we begin to introspect and to reflect and contemplate and meditate. This also happens out of consciousness. And who can say how you come to qualify, I don't know. Just somehow a change and orientation towards the world begins to change. It's as though the consciousness turns around and stops shopping through the senses to go out, and begins to come in. Sometimes it can be out of an accident or the loss of a close relative or something, can be the trigger to somehow to go back inside. And that is a journey. It's a shorter journey than going out. But the journey ends into that place which has no distance. There's no journey and no distance in the truth.
But you cannot do it from yourself. It is grace, or...
In a sense, if you take yourself to be the self, then you can say, you're doing it to yourself. You understand? If you take yourself to be the reality, then you can say, yes, I am the cause of all of this play. If you take yourself to be the one who is journeying, you can say, yes, I can't do it by myself. If you take yourself to be the body-mind, you say, of course, I can't do it myself, because, somehow the activity of the universe, I cannot control. And it's a very good thing you cannot control them. Because if you could control them, you would be another tyrant. You see? So, in a sense, as we evolve inwardly, there's greater freedom, but there's not selfishness, and there's no power, no desire to dominate, but more to somehow remove what is darkness. And by darkness I mean ignorance. This thing come. So both statements are okay. It's okay to say, I cannot do anything, because the one who says this is previously saying, I can do so much.
Yeah.
And then, in this arrogance, life gives you a thump, and then you become humble, and then you admit, I cannot do anything. And when you see that you cannot do anything, then there's a possibility for you to go beyond that limitation. You see? Yeah.
And it just happens then, essentially.
It is just happening.
It's just happening.
I've heard many people, they say, oh, there's nothing to do, you cannot do anything, there's nothing to do, and so on. And in some cases, this speaks to us deeply, especially if you're always trying to do something. There's a time when you need to hear this. But there's a time when you don't need to hear that, because it's not complete. What I say is that what you can do is to question, who really am I? This you can do. You see? Because it will never take you into the dark. It will always clean away whatever is feeling like it's tightening up the being. This question will remove the claustrophobia. You can find out, who is even saying there's nothing to do. You can ask this question.
Who is, yeah.
Yeah, you can even ask it. You see? So it's beautiful, no? You can find out, but who is saying there's nothing to do? And just be quiet and bring that question into the presence and stay with it. You see? This is something that you say you can do. And then when there's nobody there to even ask this question, then the question and the one who would ask it will evaporate. They will vanish. And what is remaining, it won't be saying anything.
And this is what you call a journey inside.
You can say like this.
You can say, but it's not.
Yes. This question, when it is understood, because many people, they don't really understand this question.
My mind also. My mind, he doesn't know.
Sometimes people ask me, explain this question. I tell them I can't do it.
It's only that you get driven. I suppose only it is just you get driven into this space after searching for this. Who am I? It's just I land in this.
Only a master can bring you beyond all boundaries, all concepts. If the mind is there, it won't do it by itself. It may enjoy very beautiful things. But what is called a master is that principle that can push you out of you, to take the you out of you. So there's only you without you left. And this is a very unique thing. This question, sometimes, as I was saying before, the people ask, could you explain how it is? I say, I cannot do it. Only if you are ready, then somehow I'll walk with you in this question, because then it's alive. But just to explain as a technique is no good. It's very mental, yes. But sometimes I find if you are ready, somehow the question begins to happen. The environment is created and the question comes alive, and it will burn everything that is not you. Easy?
Sometimes I feel that it wants. I tell it from the head now.
Speak.
But the head says to this question, yes, because I don't know an answer, and I sometimes find myself or the witness in nothing. So after this question, so it must be that this is the door to the self or the unspeakable. This question is just a key or a door.
Yes, it is an invisible key to an invisible door to the invisible self.
Yeah.
Where there's no distance. But nevertheless, all those steps have to be taken somehow.
Yes, not think, because then it's here again.
No, it has to be taken somehow. In the play. It's almost as though the glove of existence has to be reversed. Something comes back out of this sense of being the doer, the thinker of thoughts, and the doer of actions, and the person who is living life. All of this is called waking up from this dream, you know. And it is such a paradox that it cannot be forced. This is the wisdom of God itself, that it cannot be forced, and cleverness or intellectual cleverness or trickery cannot get to it, cannot find it.
No.
Because it's a beauty that has no form.
But even this question comes and goes.
Which question?
Who am I?
Yes. You know why it comes and goes? It comes when it's needed and necessary, and it goes when it's not needed and not necessary. For a while it becomes a bit like the bodyguard of the beingness. It comes when sometimes we are speaking and we say, yes, I went to Brixton and I did this and I spoke to someone, and it's fine. And there's a moment when you say I, and I would say, hi as what you're speaking. Who are you in this moment? Because the I becomes a bit smelly. It becomes like a person, like this, me or something.
Yeah.
And then the question may be presented, you know, but who are you appearing as? You know, what uniform is your I wearing now when you speak like this? And we can begin to explore together. When someone is really open and suited to this question, it is something beautiful. It's very beautiful. Not the question, the falling away of the question and the questioner.
Okay, Mooji, I thank you very much.
I am very happy.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
very, very happy.
Me also.
I am very happy.